Yes, people. I just messed up the intro. My mind's gone blank. Hello, people. It's yours, back again with another Manchester United podcast. Good to see a familiar face, obviously on the show. Koja will be joining us also, and we have got Kish in the building. But listen, that aside, as always, make sure you show love to everybody. Obviously, everyone's socials are on the screen. Slap a like, subscribe to the channel. But listen, that aside, Jerry, my brother. How are you doing?
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've been on Husband Talks.
Way too long.
Listen, man, we're here. We're surviving. Couple wins, and I'm in a better mood. Let's just say that. Let's just say that.
But yeah. Listen, it's good to have you back. First and foremost, obviously, like you said, flipping hell, somewhat good spirits. I think we have got a third man here, fresh from a gym session. Chest is pumping. Man is ready. Oh, look at the guns on show. Guns blazing. Guns blazing. Kish is in the building. Brother, how you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you boys? Jerry, we say
I can't lie. I thought you bottled it. I can't lie. I thought you bottled it. My man's here, bro.
Oh, God. In it. Man was doing his best Spurs impression. Fair play is actually turned on. You love to see it. Should I say Fury or
good to see you, smart man. Looking fresh.
Yes. Calder will be turned on shortly. Listen, as you can see from the title, we're going to get straight to the point. Obviously, we have got a game tomorrow. We'll be giving our thoughts on that. Obviously, get your comments in. And of course, just get interactive as much as you possibly can. If you're watching it on repeat, get comments in. Obviously, we'll reply to all of them. Also, one of those comments, but yeah, it is where it is. The title is, boys, in case you haven't seen it, should Rashford or Bruno be dropped? That is the question on today's agenda. That is the agenda. As people say, Usman's got an agenda. So I brought on a couple of people on both sides. We've got Rashford lover, we've got Bruno lover, and you got me somewhere in the middle for both. So it's going to be a great show nonetheless. And hopefully we get all angles. But listen, we're going to start with a bit of positivity. 2 wins on the bounce, 2 clean sheets. Jerry, we'll start with you, bro. We'll start with you. Obviously, you're a very positive guy in general life. How are you feeling, bro? How are you feeling? Man United turned the corner. What are your thoughts?
Turned the corner. I think we've taken a step. Yeah, man. Listen, the start of the season has been dire, man. I can't lie. I didn't expect it to be this bad, and the injuries are just mounting. Obviously, we got news of today from Leacher being out for a bit. You got the fullbacks out, the defenders out. Højlund signed with an injury. Varane out. Like, it's all just a big mess, especially the owner stuff and that. Yes.
Yes.
2 wins.
Hi.
Yeah. This is gonna be.
Come on.
Yeah. The Burnley win. We just had to win, and obviously in the cup. I mean, that's our trophy, so it was good to progress to the next round. And yeah, man, we got to take it one game at a time, man. We just need to, stop the bleeding and just get some results in. So. Yeah, man, United, it's a roller coaster, so everyone's strapping, man. It's going to be a long season, man.
Yeah, Kish, what are your thoughts on the situation? Obviously, it's quite bleak in terms of injuries, but on the flip side, Man United 2 wins in a row. You're normally pro manager, but I'm seeing a lot of cracks with you in your opinion about. What are you saying? You still Ten Hag on the fence, or you Ten Hag in? What we saying?
You're already setting the narrative, really, aren't you? But
I'm just asking, man. I'm just asking. I'm the host.
It's disappointing, if I'm honest. And even the 2 wins that we had, they've not been good. And Martinez being out is a massive, massive blow. I don't know if we play much importance on the fact that he's key to the way we play. He's a left-sided centre back, and he fits well in the system. And the fact that he's out is not good. Lindelof, for me, he's weak. Yes, he can have spells of good play, but realistically, it's not gonna be winning you leagues, Lindelof. So that's a big blow. Shaw out, big blow. So as much as you can possibly put it on the manager, I know we haven't been seeing the kind of play that we wanted to in terms of the passing football, etc. But at the same time, in all fairness to him, he's had injury upon injury. Now, whether that's something to do with the club as well, because you get a few injuries, fair enough. This is, this is ridiculous. The list of injuries is actually ridiculous when you think about it. So, I think there's blame to be put on both parts. And the players need to step up, right? A lot of them are experienced players and they need to step up. So, there can't be fault placed on Ten Hag himself. And I think grinding out these victories, it's good. We need it. And we need the points on Saturdays or tomorrow as well. But it's not been a great start to the season. And to be honest, you said positivity, but those 2 wins were ugly as well, and I didn't like those.
Were they?
In the
Palace.
The Palace game was a little
no, not against Palace last game, right?
Burnley.
Palace, fine. We played okay. And even to be honest, again, people saying Palace, 3 goals, but we didn't play well. I'm sorry, we played okay. I don't think it was blistering, we scored 3 goals, fine. I'd say one of those goals was through good football. He had some moments there, but man. So the performance definitely needs to improve. We've got a home game, so see how it goes. We need 3 points tomorrow, man. That's the next target. Can't focus on anything else.
Yeah, in terms of obviously that performance, compared to other teams, you're right. We weren't absolutely scintillating by any stretch of the imagination. But compared to Manchester United and how we've been under Ten Hag, I'd actually make a case that's been our best performance under Ten Hag. Like, honestly, it's been that bleak for such a long period. I suppose that's probably more of an indictment of the start of the football more than anything else. But, Kojo, let's bring you in. Obviously, Kish kind of alluded to the injuries, Martinez in particular, but more so the plethora of injuries. There's been such an accumulation of injuries. Surely there's got to be something more than it's a bit unfortunate. The entire back line's injured. We've got 11 players injured. Obviously, a couple have come back now. Do you think it runs a bit deeper? Is it a Man United issue, or is it just unfortunate? Where do you see on the whole situation?
What do I see on the situation?
I thought Kojo disconnected. I was like, why is this such a massive pause?
Nah, it's a bit of both, man. I'm not gonna be beating around the bush with this one. If players are not ready to play, I know this whole thing of man them want to be involved and stuff, but I wouldn't risk it. Like, I know playing Lisandro Martinez against Arsenal makes sense. Don't get me wrong, but if the guy is long-term damage possible, I just don't want to see it, me personally. And this is where we are right now. We lost Varane, we lost Wan-Bissaka, we lost Shaw, we lost Malacia, brought in Reguilon. We're now playing Amrabat at left back. Varane comes back, we'll do two more defenders. I'm tired. I'm fed up. What is going on? What's going on? So there's something somewhere. Either the players are not looking after themselves, either the medical team is just a load of crap because we brought in the Arsenal guy. He only started last week Monday, or Ten Hag is not managing the players. And the thing is as well, if you want to go back to previous management as well, we've been here before when Rashford was playing with half a body. Martial was pretty much injured all the time, and when he wasn't looked after properly for a while of time, he lost his explosiveness, lost his speed. I'm not here for a repeat of that. So if these guys need to be kicked out of the team, so be it. You know what I mean? I understand this whole thing of, I want to play, and I like that we've got characters that want to play and they want to be out there for the team. But I want to see you long term. I don't want you to become an injury case where I see you for 10 games and I don't see you for the next 20. I need you to be there for at least we play 60 games a season. If you can play 50 of them, I'm good. So, yeah, man. But blame, boy, we've been having injury problems since Van Gaal, innit? So really and truly, this is a club thing. We improved the staff in a while, and we brought an Arsenal guy in. And if anyone knows Arsenal's history over the last couple of years of injuries, it's not really looking promising either. So I don't know. I don't really know what's next, but yeah, man, we'll see in it.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. Firstly, the Arsenal guy that's been brought in, Lord, I miss that guy. He's earning every single penny at the moment. He's got a work cut out and some. I think for me personally, the Martinez one is extremely disappointing. I think it's partly Ten Hag's fault. The same way I blamed Oli for overplaying Rashford, when he or played him through injury. I understand it. I get it. You know, you do that. You inject players. Obviously, Fergie did it with Rooney, etc. Yada yada yada. Ali, thank you.
Yo,
Nah,
I will leave.
wanted-
I will leave.
Ali.
You love to see it. You love to see it.
Oh god, it's obviously club legend. You got to respect him. He's a fraud manager, but that's a different combo. But you know, it is what it is. But like, for me, with Ten Hag, I just don't understand why I play Martinez. I think the way I see it is, Martinez being injured is probably our worst injury of anyone in the team. And the reason I say that, he hasn't covered it. Obviously, he's not covered himself in glory. But for me, I basically, you know, put that down to the fact that he has been playing with the injury. He hasn't been at his best. I think everybody here, including most United fans that watched Martinez, said he's lost the yard of pace. He doesn't look sharp. He doesn't look fit. Everyone's been saying it. And it turns out he has been injured whilst he's been playing. So for me, he's the biggest injury, bigger than anyone else, because he's actually not replaceable. Because the reason being is because Varane is not reliable. So we're basically in a situation when Martinez is injured, it means we've got two centre-backs injured, because Varane, for me, can get injured tomorrow. Like, that guy, I love the guy to bits. He's my favourite defender without a shadow of a doubt. Massively underrated. But the truth of the matter is, you can't rely on him for 2 games a week. So, in my head, I'm seeing this as Martinez and Varane are injured at the moment, because
Maguire
in a week. And you got to put into context that he's injured.
I don't want it, but...
One second, let me know. You got to put into context, he's out for 3 months, which includes the Christmas period. So you're looking at 20 games. You can't trust Varane to play 20 games. Let's keep it a book. That's including all competitions. That means Maguire, Lindelof, or Maguire and Evans are going to play at least 50% of those games without a shadow of a doubt. And the way I see it is, we're basically screwed with that injury, because we're going to have Maguire and Evans starting against Man City. Are you taking the piss? Like, if Varane gets injured now, Maguire and Evans are starting against Man City. And we haven't got any fullbacks. They're injured as well. So I think it's bleak. Honest to God, I think that injury could have ruined that season potentially if Varane. Yeah. That's how I see it. Obviously, not to be too negative. But Kish, what were you going to say, obviously? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I touched on it before, didn't I? Leach is a big miss. And the fact that we haven't got Shaw as well, who can slot into centre back nicely. That's a big loss. He's out for a while as well, isn't he? So, it's not great. You're right. It could define our season or shape it. I think we can get away with it in games, but you're right, against the big guns. Maguire at the back, I can't, man. So I don't know if and when we haven't got any money as well. So signing someone in January, that's looking bleak as well. Yeah. So I don't know what we're gonna do here.
Bare bones FC, man. Bare bones FC. But listen, we're gonna move on from this topic, because I don't want to dwell on too much, because let's be a bit positive. Manchester United did win the last game 3-0. So let's talk about the positive from that Crystal Palace game. What did we take away? Jerry, will come to you. What are the things that stood out from you the most? Obviously, we've spoken about the injuries. Let's try and focus on, the good things from that game. We've not had many opportunities to do that this season. So what are the things that you took away from that game the most, if you like to analyze it, so to speak?
It was the first game we controlled. Completely dominated, a lot of possession, slow build up. Obviously, we saw the debut of Amrabat as well. Obviously, he played left back, but you can see him inverting, helping out the midfield. You saw the young G's, Palestra and Garnacho on the wings. Yeah, you saw their promise. Like, it was I don't want to say it was a boring game, because I actually enjoyed it, but it was like obviously it's a cup game. The atmosphere went as, like a Premier League game, but it was controlled. And we scored some great goals. I know Chris said we scored one team goal, but obviously a corner as well. And the third goal, I think that was good football, man. At that end cross from Casemiro, back post to Martial.
Tony with that cold, ice cold.
Oh, it was a good goal. It was
He's back, baby. Tony's back.
But yeah, I don't want to get carried away, because like we always said, it's Crystal Palace's kind of B team. They had a lot of players out. We kind of went strong, I would say. And yeah, the league's tomorrow's gonna be a different ball game. So yeah, it was a good win, but let's see if they can replicate tomorrow, because knowing this team, they're just gonna go revert to type and go back to what they were doing. So yeah, it was a positive, but let me see it tomorrow. Then I'll be more assured of that performance.
Yeah, that's fair enough. What's the saying? The positives were all the players coming in, energy, control, and easy on the eye. Benji saying, Kish! Matthew saying, Palestri, Amrabat, and the fact it was a good controlling performance was the positives. I just want to shout out to all the mandem, obviously, as always. We appreciate the support. You know, let's just get this coming up. Koja, we're going to come to you. Actually, you know what? Come to Kish, because Kish is the no chains, you know, no magnums, energy workhorse. Kish, chat to me about this. What's saying the positive with the players coming in, the energy? Obviously, you love players that provide energy. What did you make of it?
Just say that again, sorry, you just cut up.
Yeah, so obviously you love players that come in and bring the energy. Obviously, Fred's probably your favorite player of all time. So what did you make of that midfield three? Obviously, it was slightly, you know, more dynamic in my personal opinion. But what did you make of their performance as a collective?
Listen, yeah. Slap Amrabat in next to Casemiro, right? It's lack off, right? It's total lockdown, right? It's COVID again, right? It's lockdown. It will literally be lockdown, and then what you will see is Bruno Fernandes being able to roam free like he should. If you think about the past 3 seasons, right? Realistically, yes, agreed. I'm going to agree. I'll put my hands up and say, yeah, he's a bit of a headless chicken, right?
Wow. Okay.
Positionally, yes. There have been times where it's very questionable, right? I half think it's instructions from the manager as well, not to be a headless chicken, but to go in some of the areas he does. But look, what you're going to see, back to the point, what you're going to see is a more freer, hopefully, or I'm hoping you see a more freer Bruno Fernandes. So you let him create, right? And then you're going to get your output, right, where he's so dangerous. Because all Bruno Fernandes should be doing is exactly what the City boys doing at number 10 and Liverpool's as well. And that's just literally playing ball for ball all the time, picking up players, getting the ball back, right? I don't know why people are laughing, because you'll see that. You'll see what happens.
Oh,
right?
no.
We're laughing at something else. No, you're talking back.
Yeah, right. Because Rashford, Højlund, and whoever plays on the right, personally, I think it should be Mount, right? Mount's output on the right is brilliant, right? He's more techie than people give him credit for, and he's a very smart player, right? We don't have a lot of those in the United team. Rashford being one of them, right? He's got every attribute in the book, right? Potential to be world class, but the IQ's not there. It's ironic he does this, right? You know, it's his IQ's terrible. Højlund, obviously, there's a lot of pressure on him, and you know, I'm going to put it out there. I actually want to see Martial start a lot more ahead of him. I'm just, you know, that's just the way I feel right now. I think I've seen a little bit of a spark in him. That finish, you know, no matter who it's against, that's a very difficult finish, and he's made that look like a piece of cake, right? And that's the Martial I want to see.
Benji said it was a tap-in, by the way. Benji said that was a tap-in. That Martial.
Listen, Benji right now, he's loving Poch, right? And yeah, so Benji, let's not even talk about that. But yeah, so you're going to see a freer Bruno, and then you know you're going to have to.
Are you trying? It's a bit kiss in a roundabout way. Are you trying to say that you need to unlock Bruno Fernandes? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, don't put words.
Oh no.
I'm just asking.
No,
because it sounds like you're trying to unlock Bruno Fernandes. That's what it sounds like to me.
Look. At the end of the day, the numbers that he has put up, right, says that he doesn't need to be unlocked, right? That guy's unlocked already, right? He's crazy. I mean, all you got to do is look at his goal against Burnley. There's not a lot of men in the league that can do that, right? They had a similar chance, fluffed it. Bruno Fernandes just wants, you know, getting him to be in more freer positions. He doesn't have to do as much defensive work. He shouldn't be anywhere near our penalty box. You just, you know, I want to see him create. And to be honest, Amrabat and Casemiro, It's looking naughty. So yeah, we're sagging at centre back, but if we've got those two locking it down, you know, I'd put that up against any two, Casemiro and Amrabat. Amrabat, I think, you know, there's a long way to go with him. I want to see how he does under pressure. But yeah, it's the midfield certainly looking positive. It's looking positive with Amrabat slotting in there.
Yeah, I mean, you made some good points. I mean, some things obviously I don't agree with, obviously, as you already know what those are. But regarding the Amrabat thing, sadly, he's not going to play centre mid because obviously we haven't got a left back. So realistically speaking, he's probably going to retain his spot as left inverted.
Malacia is probably late October.
Yeah, we've got any left back. Amrabat's not going to play centre mid, so that's not happening. But
you don't think Lindelof? You put Lindelof there?
No, I mean, unless he plays the left back.
Against who did he play 4 centre backs against? I think at one point we were playing 4 centre backs.
Yeah, it was last game. He brought Lindelof on, and we had 4.
Yeah, I mean, you could play Lindelof right back and play Delors left back. That is also another possibility. But listen, for me, I just wanted to touch on Mason Mount before we go back onto Bruno. Obviously, that is the topic alongside Rashford, of course. So yeah, for me, personally, you kind of alluded to Mason Mount being his, you know, his technical ability. Obviously, he was great in the front three, and to be fair, in Chelsea he was. But for me personally, if they're playing Mason Mount in the right wing, I think is a massive waste. I mean, Pellistri for me was absolutely fantastic for a lot of that Crystal Palace game. I thought he gave us a lot of what other players haven't done in that position this season or in previous years. Obviously, he didn't set the world alight. He had a steady performance, but he was an out wing, and I just feel like why are we removing all the good principles that we had in that game and changing it too much? I mean, if he wants to bring Bruno Fernandes in, put Mason Mount on the bench. Don't shoehorn him into a position because he has to play. I just think for me personally, you've got a right wing and Pellistri there. He has to start at right wing. We haven't got anybody else available. I don't want to see Mason Mount at right wing. I personally don't think Mason Mount is better than Pellistri at right wing. Yeah, Mason Mount can have a couple of decent games here and there. He might have a couple of good performances in that position, but for me, his best position is Cam, which is obviously where Bruno's occupying. So, Kojo, what are your thoughts? How do we get the best out of Mason Mount? Obviously, what did you make of his performance? Does he retain his spot in Cam, or do you think he can play right wing and actually do better than Pellistri?
For me, he has to stay central. For me personally, he has to stay central because he tends to naturally just sort of move about with where the ball's going. Like Ten Hag's system is supposed to be free flowing in it, so essentially you still have that 1-3-6 or whatever it's supposed to be, different positions, people moving around. So even if he did start on the right per se, he wouldn't be a pure right winger. And from looking at what Pellistri and Dalot were doing, it looked like Pellistri was, even though taking on players here and there, more time he was collecting the ball after a ping, and then Dalot was overlapping or underlapping every time. So there's some sort of connection there. That's nice. So maybe Pellistri can stay there. But if you're gonna get Mason Mount back into form, he has to play at some point. So as much as I understand, in terms of keeping Pellistri down, I know Bruno's the undroppable one, he's the captain, so that's fine. If we're going to play this guy back into form, he's going to have to play some minutes. It's just about, are we keeping the 4-3-3? Are we going into maybe a different formation? We tried a diamond. That was a bit hit and miss, if I'm being very honest. Is that we started well, and then we fell off completely. So, there were some positives, but a lot more negatives. Maybe players are not used to it. I don't know. But it'll be interesting. I like the fact that even Amrabat playing left back also drifts in. So it's not a traditional 4 at the back per se. So there's a lot of free flowing, there's a lot of movement. So we shouldn't be scared to play him on the right. Like you said, Kish, he's a smart player, and he showed that at Chelsea. He showed that at Chelsea when you had Tuchel as his manager. Obviously, when you have Graham Potter, it might be a different situation. So I'm thinking I want to play him, but if Pellistri starts again, I ain't gonna be mad at it. Usman said it right. I've missed the direct winger for years, man. Direct, pacey, confidence. You just take on defenders. Even if he doesn't succeed, he'll do it again and again and again and again and again. He doesn't want to make you feel comfortable. So, yeah, I won't be mad at him playing. But if I'm being honest, I do want to see more Mason Mount.
Yeah, sure. I mean, to be fair to Mount, he did have a good game. I thought he personally had quite a solid game overall. But the reason I want Pellistri to stay, he actually got the pre-assist for Garnacho's goal. I mean, he was on a pop job, or he was in the build-up for the goal. I don't know if it was a pre-assist or pass before to Delors. But that being said, I just thought I just thought Pellistri is basically giving us what we've been crying out for from Anthony and Sancho and Rashford as well. I mean, none of them really bring to the table what Pellistri does, which is basically a better version of Dan James to an extent. I mean, beats his man, gets the ball into the box and just keeps it simple. I mean, sometimes you just need players like that on the pitch for balance and obviously bring something different to the team. Jerry, where do you see the situation with the front three? Would you change anything from obviously the game against Crystal Palace? Obviously, Rashford was the most noticeable absentee. What would you do if you were in charge?
Well, just the front three, or
yeah, we'll come to the midfield shortly. But in terms of the front three, what do you reckon? Obviously, Mason Mount, does he get that front three spot for you, or what are your thoughts?
First and foremost, Rashford comes straight back in. I'm sorry to say.
Thank you very much.
I'm sorry. Let's stop the rubbish. Let's stop the you should. I get it, but me personally, are we forgetting Rashford from last year? I know right now he's not playing well, but we need to play him back into form. He's one of our, if not our most dangerous player in this team. And for me, I get it. Garnacho, he had a decent game. It was a cup game, but we've seen when he started, he's not really up to it. And I prefer Garnacho off the bench personally. For me, Rashford comes straight back in. Hopefully, he can get back to form because in games this season, I know his IQ ain't been the best, but he's been in dangerous positions. I think he set up. Did he set up Højlund for his first goal against Bayern? I think people just forget about that. He's been threatening, and I know the decision making ain't been there, but it's a new front three, new system. He's got to get used to playing with different players. So for me, he comes straight back in. The Marshall up top, I'm not feeling that Kish. I can't lie. He can hold bench. Listen, we got a lot of games anyway, man. We got the Champions League week, so him off the bench is a good option. And Højlund, how much do we spend on him? He has to play. On the right, I'm with you, Usman, man. Pellistri, I've been saying it for time. He is equivalent to Garnacho. I think they're on the same level. Obviously, Garnacho's played a lot more, which boosts him up. But I think if Pellistri had the same game time, he probably could have even passed him. So for me, he should hold that right wing spot. Obviously, we know Anthony's back in training tomorrow, which is very scary because you just know on Champions League on Tuesday he's back on that pitch. So all this Pellistri Mount is just going to be dead in the water. But for now, Pellistri deserves another start. I think he did well against Bayern, considering facing Alphonso Davies. But he's confident, man. I think give him more game time, he should be more confident. As for Mason Mount, I get the right wing when he was at Chelsea, but I think they played a back three, if I'm not mistaken, which kind of changes the whole dynamic of that side. So for me, I don't want to see him in a 4-3-3 on the right. Maybe the 6 and 2 8s can run again, man. Maybe.
No, I don't want to see that ever again.
Listen, I think that's what Ten Hag wants to do.
No, Ten Hag is going to get himself sacked if he's doing that. I swear to God.
Now listen, guys, I think we're being too hasty. I know it didn't work.
No, we're not, Jerry. Man,
Can I learn? Let me learn. We played 2 games with it. It's just 2 games because Mount got injured in the Tottenham game. We haven't really, worked on it properly. Højlund wasn't there. Pellistri wasn't there. It could be a whole new dynamic. Obviously, Amrabat, Casemiro couldn't even hold bench if Ten Hag really wants to switch it up. I think we should run it again and see how it is. Just to see, man, because I like Mason Mount Central, man. He's a good player. Obviously, you're not his biggest fan, husband, but you said he's back.
Look, I give him credit where it's due. Like I said, I think he played well, but this business with Mount and Bruno, I'm sorry, is not going to work, man. Both of them don't have the defensive discipline. I'm sorry. We've criticized people in the past for the similar things. It's not in Mount's DNA to be defensively minded. I mean, for me personally, he's going to get exposed there week in, week out. I mean, he might have the odd game here there.
Offensively, because
it's baffling to me that Hannibal's getting dropped. I can't believe it. How would you drop Hannibal for Mount instead of me?
Can I say something about Hannibal? I said in the group, I get not the hype, but that guy's reckless, bro.
He's a massive though.
It does matter. He's gonna cost us.
No. We need that in the team.
Cost us a game one time, bro. That game he could have got 3 yellows, bro.
It's not massive, bro. We need somebody like that who's got energy around Casemiro since Hannibal's been playing, it's not a coincidence that Casemiro's done better, man. You got to look at it as a team, as a unit. We're looking at basically what people are saying is individual players. You got to look at it as what balances and what brings the best out each other. For me, whether we like it or not, Hannibal brings the best out of Casemiro until Amrabat is available to play centre mid.
It's been one game.
No, but one second, let me land. So what I'm saying is, Amrabat obviously will play with Casemiro once we've got a left back. That's just them two should be the first two named on the team sheet, essentially. They have to start in centre mid. The other person we could debate until we're blue in the face. But Hannibal, for me, is the only other person that has the capabilities, as Kish would say, is replacing Fred. I mean, we have Fred, obviously, for all he's not good on the ball, off the ball, you can't doubt him. He's covering every blade of grass. And who else in the team is doing that? Scott's not doing that because he's absolutely clueless. Bruno doesn't do it properly. Eriksen's obviously not doing it. And Mason Mount, although he runs well, he doesn't have the defensive IQ to play in that position because he's not a player that's ever played box to box. So he doesn't have the understanding of the position. So for me, Hannibal, he's done enough to state a claim at least to play until
the early game he didn't perform. Like let's be honest.
He was good against Burnley, man. Look,
It's okay. It was all right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay. You want him to be flipping prime Kimmich. He just needs to do a job.
Bro, yeah, I heard that. But for United to get in this team to stake a claim, like I've always said.
No, but bro, I'm sorry. That Mason Mount can't be playing that position of Hannibal. I think that's...
Hold on. This whole narrative about Mason Mount hasn't got the defensive capabilities. Oh yeah, he does. He does. No. I'm sorry. I'm not buying that, mate.
Go on, Kish. Go on, Kish.
Go on,
Kish. Tell him.
He does. He does have the defensive capabilities, right? The reason Ten Hag signed him, right, is because he's a presser, right? He can win the ball back. So to say that he doesn't have the defense, I think that's a bit harsh.
That's different. That's in the finals. I'm talking about our thirds, not their thirds. He's very good at the ball back.
Work. It's still getting the ball back from the opposition, whether it's high up or whether it's in your own penalty box. You're still trying to get the ball back off the opposition. I classify that. That's it. There's no. It makes sense. Why I said Mason on the right is because and I think Kojo touched on it. Like we're not gonna play like a functional 4-3-3. So you'd like to think that he's going to be coming inside. There's going to be interchanges of positions. That's what Ten Hag wants, right? That's why he picks players that ideally can play multiple positions because he doesn't want what he wants. Smoothness in transition. So if you listen to his interview, he said he wants to be the best transition team in the world. I found that a little bit interesting as well because he didn't say, possession based. He wanted to be the best transition team in the world. So immediately what that told me is this guy ideally wants to win the ball high up on the pitch, right? Which is why he brought Højlund, who's topping the press stats right now. Obviously Rashford, I don't know, what he's going through right now, but he can press. And then obviously you mentioned Pellistri, who, by the way, I think you're totally, he's good, but you're totally overhyping him right now. And who, I don't know who said he's better than, or he's the same level as Garnacho. No chance. Not right now. Garnacho's done bits.
He's played more. That's why. That's the only reason.
Hold on. You can't put it down. Garnacho has done bits.
Watch.
People forget that. Listen, last season, right, we would not have come where we come without that boy. I'll tell you that. Yeah, the amount of time young Eden bagged 3 points.
Young Eden.
He played.
Young Eden.
I'm getting flashbacks of Fulham, right? Him taking his shirt off. Listen, Garnacho, what he needs to do is go through the Ronaldo program. So he needs to put a bit of weight on, right? Not too much where it slows him down, but he needs to go into camp. That's what I think he needs to do. This guy, Pellistri, he's a hard worker, right? And yes, I don't think personally I see the creative side to him as much as you guys do. Garnacho, I think it was a cup game. he's put a ball in for Scott, right? Floated one in last season. It was an absolute amazing ball. Scott just literally had to tap it. You remember that? You remember that goal? Yeah, that was a wave. This guy, right? Yeah, he runs at players, blah, blah, blah. But if we start playing proper football, you again see the best of Garnacho, because he's a smart footballer. He wants to play as well. He's not selfish. He's not greedy. I'm not saying he should start over Rashford. I agree with you right now. I think Rashford should start. But if it carries on the way he is, get him out, put him on the bench. Because, mate, has anyone ever noticed? Hasn't anyone noticed? This guy doesn't go in for headers anymore. Marcus Rashford does not go in for headers anymore. I'm sorry, I thought I was going crazy, but then I looked at it again properly. This guy, there's times I've seen he wouldn't even jump, right? And you know, we can't be carrying passengers in this team. One of my friends put it quite quite well. He said, look, right now we're carrying passengers in this team, and one of those players is Rashford, right? And for the last 3-4 games, he's been sloppy. He's been a bit lazy, if you ask me. So that could definitely improve. But yeah, he's going to have to play. And I think he knows that, which is why you might see his performances or his attitude slip. But, you know, Garnacho, he's a talent. You know, you can clip this up wherever you want to do. He is a talent. Right, and there needs to be a plan for him. There needs to be a way for him to cement himself in the first team. Because I'll be honest with you, I think with a few years' experience, because he's very young right now, people got to remember that he's extremely young. With a few years' experience, he's got a better IQ than Rashford. He's got the same finishing. I think he's brilliant. Honestly, you put him in the box, he scores. Even against Arsenal, the offside goal. Right, you know, there was not a doubt in the world I had when he was through. I knew.
I knew scoring as well.
Yeah, and how can you have that much confidence in a youngster? What does that say about him? What does that say about him? That when he ran through on goal, yes, it was an offside goal. I knew it. Done. Young Eden slotted. Right? No, you know, there's you know.
I don't like that name, man.
Eden, you know.
Because once he goes on the program, we need to send him to Bayern and then bring him back again, because they get wham at Bayern. Yeah, you go to Bayern, you know, I don't know what they're doing there. They're churning out machines out there, right? But that's what he needs to do. And look, it's very rare that you get a player that is that age and has literally not a fear in the world. Biggest game, I back him still. You know, what is he, 20 years old? So, you know, he needs to be, his attitude, his mentality gives me Rooney vibes. I'm not saying he plays like Rooney, but he's the way he is, he gives me Rooney vibes. He's fearless, and he's a bit aggressive. You know, I've got high hopes for the boy, man, definitely. I think he needs to beef up a little bit, and there needs to be a pathway for him to gain, because, you know, in a few years' time, I think he'll be one of the best wingers in the league if he plays, if he has a way to, you know, to play consistent football. But obviously that depends on him as well. He needs to turn up as well. But last game, Crystal Palace, back of the net.
Right. Okay. Right, Kish, we're gonna get Kojo, because honestly that monologue was so long I almost forgot my question. I'm not gonna lie, but honestly,
it's young Garnacho, baby, man. It's young.
But Kish, no, I agree with everything you said. I can't lie. I'm actually gonna back you up before I pass it to Kojo. I think I'm the only person on the panel that actually doesn't want Rashford to start. So I'm just going to quickly put my case forward, and Coach, obviously you're none of
you are definitely not the only person thinking that. I know for
a fact. No, that's fine. I'm happy to be on my own with that. That's completely fine. But before I get into that, I just want to quickly shout out the chat. Shout out to Darren, obviously the homie. Hopefully get you back on soon as well, my brother. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully everything's good with yourself. Kurtik in the chat saying he's slagging off me, I think. The certain man think this trick can be coach. Yeah, I think that is. I think that's referencing a comment I made, but that's completely fine. I get it all the time. It's not a problem. Has Hannibal caused Erik ten Hag a huge headache? His energy cannot go unnoticed at all. Oh, Hannibal, sorry, I read that wrong. We've kind of alluded to Hannibal to an extent, but listen, I'm just going to throw my Rashford case, and then obviously, Coach, I'll pass it to you closely. I know you don't agree with it. So, for me, it's not based on ability. However, I've always had this mindset, right? As a Manchester United player, you have to earn your spot. I'm gonna just throw it. The front four for me. Realistically, none of them are in the spot. Højlund, Palestri, obviously, I know Palestri, I just said he should start, but that's mainly because he's the only option. If Amad Diallo was fit, I'd probably be crying for Amad Diallo to start. But that's a different convo. The front four for me haven't made a claim this season so far to say, this is my spot, I am playing week in, week out. I think there needs to be more competition. There needs to be more healthy competition, and I think that needs to be rotated more within the team to show these players that they're not going to get selected week in, week out. Bruno and Rashford are the two players that are guaranteed, regardless of how they play, they start week in, week out. I'm sure we don't agree with that. I think Maguire was the most noticeable one on the Ollie. And for me personally, I think that's extremely unhealthy to have that sort of scenario within the dressing room. Garnacho just got a goal. Do I think Garnacho is better than Rashford? Absolutely not. Do I agree with Garnacho starting because he's a better option? Probably not, because when he starts, he's not really that good of a player. But the way I see it, I don't want Rashford to start because he hasn't earned his spot. He has not been good enough the last 3 games. You guys know me. I defend Rashford to the hills in the chat and whatnot. I love the guy. He always has an opportunity to score. He's doing X, Y, Z. But the truth of the matter is his application off the ball has been absolutely bottom of the barrel. I've not seen a player that bad off the ball for a long time. That is absolutely piss take. He's not even jumping for headers. He's not challenging. There was one time he trapped back and I was like, shit, he's actually doing defensive work. But then obviously that didn't last for more than 5 minutes. I mean, his overall off the ball, he's been looking at, he's not interested, he's not passing to his teammates. The one time he passed to Højlund, he scored. I mean, he's cost us so many games and goals. I was behind the net for Brighton when he should have squared it to Højlund. At the time, I wasn't aware that he should have passed it, but when I watched the replays, it's quite an easy pass for him to make. If he cut in and just passed it, little things like that for me are starting to add up. And at the end of the day, if you don't punish the player for making the same mistakes, he's not going to give a shit because he knows he's playing. Case kind of mentioned it right at the end. He knows he's playing. He can drop a stinker. He knows he's playing. And for me, regardless of whether he should be playing because he's a better player, I think we need to start getting into the situation that put him on the bench. Let him sit on the bench and think about shit that he's messed up. Oh, no, what? I have to fight for my spot now. Okay, Garnacho's in there. Garnacho might score. He's got the capabilities of scoring another goal. Put some pressure on Rashford because at the moment, he's got it too easy. So for that reason, I would 110% drop him because I think psychologically it'll do him a lot of good because he realizes, okay, I actually need to up my level. Because at the moment, I just feel like he's going through the motions. He knows he's going to play. He can do what he wants, basically. And I just don't like that attitude. And I think that goes to every player, not just him. That goes to Bruno, Anthony, Sancho, blah, 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 whoever's playing on the pitch. I just don't think. I think it's extremely unhealthy. You've seen the other day as well, last point before I pass to you, Coach Joe, Klopp subbed off Salah. I don't know if you guys saw that. The other day on the 60th minute, he kept on Diaz, kept on, I think it was Gakpo or what that it was. These players were not performing better than Salah, but he hooked Salah off. If you can hook Salah off, if he can hook Salah off,
a big fool.
If he can hook Salah off, and obviously Pep can hook off KDB, then why are we starting Rashford week in, week out? I don't understand.
He can hook them off, but he has to start.
No, but like,
I'd rather take him off.
Why does Rashford have to start? Why does he have to start? So, Kojo, explain to me, why does Rashford have to start, given the performances he's got in the last 3-4 weeks?
Hey, man, I can't lie. I want to talk about something else right now because something crazy just happened. But, hey, man, pause. No. I actually agree with you. I want players to earn their spot. But the point I'm making is I understand that he has to get himself back into form. How that happens, I don't know if that's benching him to motivate him. I don't know if he has to keep playing to get him back into some sort of better match sharpness and just getting in the goals again. He scored against Arsenal, so that's something that he contributed to. He didn't play well. Don't get me wrong. The overall game he didn't play well, but he contributed something. The thing for me is knowing what he possesses and what he brings. I just don't think right now, especially where Man United are playing as a whole, him included, it's a bit risky to take him out right now because we just need goals right now, and he's our goal getter still. I don't look at the other players and think they're going to contribute as much as him. Bruno used to. Bruno's numbers came down a bit. It is what it is, and I do agree. Again, I will reiterate. I do agree that players need to be very uncomfortable. To be very honest, but he's just got to keep playing, man. He's got to play. And you said it about Garnacho. That's my thing about Garnacho. See, if Garnacho came in and played well from the jump, this is a very different discussion for me, because I'm like, yo, set pace. You're not setting pace. The young guy's come through and he's setting levels for you. So what's the thing doing here?
Yeah, but we're not playing well.
No, I said that. But if you're gonna take a player out, the player that comes in needs to also do his thing. And because he's young, I've got time for him. I've got time for him to, make his mistakes and that. But at the end of the day, if you're gonna drop Rashford, I need someone 30 who's gonna play there. And I'm not hearing Martial either, because Martial has not got the explosiveness. He hasn't got the speed. Nor does he even take a guess at.
He's brazy.
This brazy word, man. I don't like him, man. He ain't brazy anymore, man. He used to be brazy, and I used to be a big fan of his. But it's one of them ones where, bit by bit, I just saw a player who injuries affected him. That's not his fault, but it is what it is. It's football's life. But like the player that I adored and the player that I looked at is not the player that he is anymore. And now we're praising him for doing batty to goal rather than doing number 9 things and scoring goals. And that's a problem for me.
No, he scored, man. He scored.
No, he scored one. He scored one, and that's lovely. But he doesn't do that.
You guys love GA. He's got a goal and assist in his last 3 games.
See, this is the thing we do with Martial. See, we get here, and then the next couple of months we get stressed again, and we get annoyed. I'm just doing. I hear you, but then it's the same.
You said Rashford scored against Arsenal, but he scored against Palace.
Yeah, exactly. Rashford scored, but I say he was poor the other game. Martial scored. He did his thing. He actually played kind of well against Palace.
He played well. And Bayern. He played well against Bayern as well.
It was way better.
Oh yeah, but he was the bench. Yeah, he made the impact. Yeah. But Rashford also made the impact as well. My point being this: we've done this thing with Martial before, and we do it with a lot of players as well, where he'll come and impress, and it's like, okay, hold on, maybe are we back again? My guy Ty will hug his pillow, shout out Ty, and then out of nowhere, the guy lets everybody down again. I'm not here for it. It's the same cycle, and he'll get injured for another 3 months. It's tiring. The thing is for Martial, just to end my point, if you want Martial integrated back in, we really, really got to take our time with him. Kish, you're talking about regimes, talking about training, take him to camp. This guy needs camp. He needs camp. He needs muscle training. He turned up early. Wait.
He turned up early, bro. He was there.
You gotta take him back. You're gonna take him back again, because when he lets you down again, you're gonna be there. Kish, see you, yeah. You're gonna praise him now. When he drops a stinker, you ain't gonna talk in the group chat for about 7 hours and then come back again. I know you.
Let me land about Martial. Okay?
Here we go.
I've had the same heartbreak you have, right? It gives me shades of Paul Pogba, right? Used to love Paul Pogba, great player.
Whoa.
This is the thing, right? No, you gotta let me finish it. And that season upon season, the Paul Pogba that I thought and saw, and yeah, you could say injuries played his part, and circumstances. Whatever, man. That is what it is. But I witnessed this player, demise, and with Martial, he's had one really good season, 17 goals under Oli. Oli had us firing, but he's still 27, and if there is, because look, we're not blessed with riches in that position, right? We've literally got 2 strikers, right? Like you said, Kojo, a lot of our front forward players don't contribute with goals, right? And that, I think, it personally is because the way we're not playing well at the moment. I think if you see a more free-flowing United, we'll start scoring more goals. But at the moment, goal and assist, those are the facts. Højlund, I'm not going to lie, everyone's, he does deserve a chance. He's very young. I don't care if we paid 75 mil for him. Martial starts. Yeah, he's... Yes. He starts, man.
Kish, quick question. Sorry, quick question for you.
And you go on.
Yeah, you said, how's Martial now, 27? So
Martial, 27, yeah.
Okay, so he's been here since 19. How many years you got left for him, bro?
Well, to be honest, I'm not concerned about that. This is not transfer talk, right? This is talking about right here, right now, what the situation is.
I'm asking about your patience level. I'm asking about your patience level.
The question is not, Kish, do you care whether he's here next season? No, I don't.
I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask you that. I asked you, what's your patience level?
Effectively, you have.
No, what's your patience level with him? As in, how long before you say, man, okay, it's just not going to be. That's what I'm asking. It's not about whether he's here or not.
I'll be real with you. I'm patient because we're desperate. There we go. Sometimes in desperate times, you got to be patient, right? And realistically, you've got no option. We've got no option but to be patient with him right now. If you come and ask me this question next summer, when the transfer window's open, get him gone, right? But at this very moment, right, we need him to turn up. I've seen some spots. He starts.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just want to get back to your actual initial statement. So can you please explain why Martial should start over Højlund, just before we go around about Martial? We don't need to talk about him in the past tense. Tomorrow, why should he start over Højlund?
Because he's better than Højlund.
In what sense? What does he bring to the team that Højlund can't?
Do I need to break down to 3 United fans why Tony Martial, injury or no injury, is better than Rasmus Højlund?
Absolutely.
Oh, well.
I'm trying to let you make your case. Because when I click and put on Twitter, people are going to ask me.
What do you mean? Do I have to explain why Tony Martial?
Why are you picking Martial over Højlund?
You know what? Okay, right, hold on. If you want me to break it down, I'll break it down. First of all, Tony Martial, right? Injury or no injury, I'm hoping now, obviously, I hope I've not jinxed it, but I'm hoping now he can have a run of games, right? And I'm talking about his fitness levels, right? Because he did look sharp. He did look sharp against Crystal Palace. When we have a fully fit Tony Martial, and that's key, by the way, a fully fit Tony Martial, even though he's been blighted by injuries, his football IQ alone is better than Rasmus Højlund's right now. I'm not saying Rasmus Højlund's can't get better, and he, et cetera, but he's very young right now. His touch is better than Rasmus Højlund's, right? Definitely. He can gobble that ball up, right? He can hold it up, right? People will say, what did he say? Bum to the goal. Well, we need that right now. We need that, right? We need someone that can hold the ball up. He can do that. He can beat a man. Yes, he hasn't got that pace, but he can still beat a man, right? And he can finish as well. So in all departments, he's better than Rasmus Højlund. There's only one department that Rasmus Højlund beats him in, and that's, or maybe two, pressing, and that he's faster than him. Everything else, technical ability, you name it, is Tony Martial. And you're lying to yourself. You are lying to yourself if you think otherwise. Rasmus Højlund, I'm sorry, hang on. Rasmus Højlund, Serie A Don, right? And not even part-time Serie A Don, right? Yeah, okay, fine. He played for, how many games has he really started? And look at the impact. Yeah, okay, he scored a few goals in Serie A. This is the Premier League, Yara. This is the Premier League, right? And Tony Martial is an experienced Premier League player, whether you like it or not, right? And on his day, he will bun the best defenders. Yeah, Van Dijk's going shop, Ruiz, Diaz going shop. I remember when he bunned off Diaz as well. But, he's a strong guy. Tony Martial, when on point, is our best option. Simple. He plays better. He makes Marcus Rashford play better, right? And I'm sorry I've not seen that with Højlund. He makes Marcus Rashford play better. And I can guarantee whoever plays on that right-hand wing as well, he will make them play better. That's not great.
Rashford is a passer to Højlund, so you can't really
I don't disagree. I just wanted you to rant.
I was about to say, I actually agree, bro.
I actually agree with him as well.
Pep Gojo, he's done one of them chess moves, like, I just want to.
But you're asking my head off straight away. Look at you. Look at you. Go on.
You want him to start.
Kish, 1 second, I'm gonna help you out. The thing is, I wouldn't have dropped Højlund. Obviously, you guys know what I think. I would have dropped Rashford from Martial. I would have played him with Højlund.
Okay, whoever.
And obviously, that's not going to be.
I've got no issues.
The reason I don't want Rashford to start, I've already explained that. But for me, for the exact reasons why Kish wants Martial to start, are the reasons I'd start him, because I think his work rate, Martial, isn't particularly good. Rashford's work rate is not particularly good. So you're not really going to miss that aspect of the game because the balls don't work hard. People are saying, Martial can't play left wing. Does Rashford do anything on the left wing for the team? Absolutely not. He just does his own thing. Obviously, he's very good at stretching the play. There's absolutely no denying that. And he's a constant threat. But Martial will bring a completely different dynamic to the team than obviously Rashford. Whose little one is that? Oh!
So cute.
Bit more dark,
Oh God, West Ham fan right there. To be fair, so you're European champion, so we can't see
European
that.
champions.
So fair play. Listen, let's go to the Bruno Fernandes conversation because obviously that is in the title as well. To be honest, it's almost a pointless. I'm in a 1v3 here, but it's all good. I'm gonna clutch up. Jerry, we'll start with you, man.
I in a bit, bro.
Is Kish going?
Yeah.
All right, so
Gotta go.
oh, just when we
All right,
talk about
listen,
Bruno,
Bruno Fernandes, just wait. Yeah, that's what you gotta do. Just wait for Bruno, man. Seriously, I'll give it up, mate. The geezer's world class. Like,
He's
he's
not
world
world
class.
This is where you
He's
go
world
wrong.
class. And
he's not world class, Kish.
Look. If you're not, listen, he is world class. Whether you like it or not. Even Kevin De Bruyne said he's a goal scoring machine. No, sorry, he's a creative machine. That's what he said. He's a creative machine.
That doesn't make him world class.
It makes him world class because you know when a player says it about a player, they know, right?
What is he going to say? What is he going to say? Oh, you shit. No, he's not going to say that.
He could have put him bottom of the list. He could have put him bottom of the list, and it would have been all over Twitter, right? But
bro, obviously these men respect each other. Obviously we get it. We get that. But he's not. That doesn't make him world class, bro. World class players turn up in the big moments. It's the reason why people criticize.
Like I said,
to be world class, you have to be a clutch player, and you have to turn up when it matters.
I'm Roberto Casemiro, Lala, and that you will see what you've been waiting for. You will see
Casemiro
when
world class. Bruno Fernandes not, bro. As simple as that. Casemiro and Varane, the only world class players we've got in the squad. There's nobody else.
All right, yeah. Go to the game. Go to the game.
Listen, I'm not going to the game tomorrow. So I'm going to the Brentford game, so I'll be there for the Brentford game. Usman, you going?
I can't remember. I'll have to check my schedule. I know I'm there for tomorrow. I might be working at Brentford, as in I'm working elsewhere. But I'll have to do a check. But
Gyros.
Yeah, it's what it is. Listen,
well done, man. Big up. Keep doing your thing, man.
No worries, my brother. No worries. Listen, we're not going to talk about Bruno because we haven't got enough time, to be honest. Because obviously I'll be on that. Obviously, Kish is bottled as well as like his captain.
Yeah, he ran away, man. I rattled him, and he was like, "You see, yeah? You think you chatted as if you wanted to rattle me? I rattled you, man. It's okay."
Right, Coach, chat. Okay, he's gone now, so you can actually speak. So chat to us about the Martial comments then. And obviously, you were the only one that disagreed, really. Obviously, Jerry agreed to an extent as well.
No, I wouldn't mind if he started. I wouldn't be angry if he started.
Yeah, I wouldn't be angry either. I just wanted him to rant about why he thinks Martial is better than. I want everyone that's watching here that's not heard Kish before have a Kish rant. I wanted them to hear it.
That's basically what I was saying. I was teeing him up. He didn't understand why I was teeing him up. Obviously, after his exception prior. Why is Kish put overweight in the chat? What's he about? Oh God, honest to God, what is he talking about? Honestly, I have no clue. But listen, let's talk about the team quickly then. Obviously, you know, we are playing Crystal Palace tomorrow. Unfortunately, we are playing them back to back. Jerry, you know why I'm saying this. I don't remember a time where we played a team in the cup and the league where we've won. I generally don't remember a time. And a lot of the time, we end up losing the league game. I feel like that's always the case. We lost to Brighton.
Remember Leeds? Was it last season, Leeds? When we had them back to back?
I feel like we had Wolves as well back to back.
Yeah, Wolves, Aston Villa one time.
Oh, God, it's just, Aston Villa's beat us. Wolves got a draw or probably one of their bullshit wins. It's just all the time. I don't understand why. So Jerry, we'll come to you first. How are you feeling about tomorrow's game? Obviously, we'll be 10 minutes or so. How are you feeling about tomorrow's game? What are your thoughts?
I'm a bit nervous. I can't lie. Obviously, what we've just spoken about, and the fact that it's not live, that doesn't sit right with me. I don't want to check my phone and they scored. There's 1-0 down.
I'll tell you, man. I'll be in the stadium door.
Like, yeah, bro. I don't. You know, I'm kind of 50-50. Like, obviously, we're talking about Rashford and Bruno. Bruno, I get his deficiencies, but he's a good player, man. Like, I hear when people overrate him, but the people that downplay him, I don't like that. because he's bro, since he's come to this club, yeah, like people are deep in that. He's been not one of our best, probably our best signing post Fergie. Like if you think about it, like he's done a lot. Like I know we ain't won much, but his GA and what he's contributed to this club has been way more than anyone else since he's come. So for me, like Quick Kiss said, with him and Amrabat and Casemiro, obviously when that midfield actually starts playing together, I think he can go back to his best. And we need him to go back to his best. He's the captain now. We need him to step up, and obviously this ain't a big game, so he should perform tomorrow. So for me,
he should be all right, man. He's
exactly. So he comes straight back in for me. And yeah, let's just hope he can, score an assist or whatever. But it's a big week, Champions League. We need to get off the mark as well. So and then
I mean, we've got a bit of a favourite draw, but What's saying it's just the most anticipated team.
We know what's gonna happen. We know.
I don't think it is, to be honest. I don't think, realistically speaking, I know this is very rich coming from me because you guys know me well. But you can't really complain about the team sheet tomorrow. I complain all the time. I understand that. I will be the first to complain in the chat without a shadow of a doubt and onto it. I get it. But I kind of give Ten Hag a bit of a leniency because there's so many injuries. It's kind of difficult for him to really pick. I suppose my only issue would be the Palestri one, but Claude, we'll throw it to you. How are you feeling for tomorrow's game? Are you confident? Obviously, the cup game was completely different. The intensity wasn't there. Their first 11 wasn't there. They didn't really. I mean, before the game, I thought we'd slap them 4-0, only because a lot of these lower teams don't really care for cups for whatever reason, but they just don't have that mindset going into that game that they got a chance of winning the cup, so they don't really have that hunger. But obviously 3 points are up for grab tomorrow. What are you expecting from this Crystal Palace team? Because also they have got a lot of talent in that team. Yeah,
they're good, man, but they're holding the L. We're gonna win the game. I'm calm about it. I'm quite calm about it. Ayew will come back in. Did Ayew even play? Yeah, I didn't see him. That's what he does. Jerry, very well. Don't worry.
I
know. That's the last time I'll mention his name. Don't worry. I know SA will come back into the lineup. But other than that, I'm not really fearful of their side. They are a good team. They are tricky. He came off the bench. Yeah. He came off the bench. Yeah. But no, I'm not worried. And the reason I'm not worried is because Palace have these spells where they tend to just score in a spell of losing, but then they'll pick it up again. And I think they're going to start in that run again. So I think we should try and take advantage of it. We've got the confidence. We beat them 3-0. A couple of players coming in should not be a big worry because we got a couple of players coming back as well. 2 players I know we've already debated on here, but hopefully they're back to their best as well. And if they're back to their best, we deal with them. So I'm going to come on a WAS energy, and I'm going to come with we're going to win this game, and I feel quite comfortable to do so. Clean sheet as well. Run that.
Wow, WAS has gone 3-0. If you're tuning in, obviously keep slapping the like and obviously subscribe and get your predictions in. We are going to wrap up the show very shortly. Obviously, we're going to go through our lineups and obviously get the prediction in as well. Look, for me personally, right, I've got to be honest, I'm expecting us to play a similar way that we did on the Cup. Obviously, I've just alluded to the fact that the factors are obviously different. The starting 11, the motivation is going to be a lot higher because it's a league game. They need the points, that kind of thing. I understand that, but we're at home. We've come off the back of a beating against them, but obviously a win against Burnley. We should have a bit of confidence going into this game, and surely with the fact that Martial scored, Casemiro starting to sort himself out a bit. Obviously the GA wise, obviously always helps with confidence, although that's not what he's in the team for. And obviously Garnacho getting that goal as well. So for me personally, this should be an easy game for us. I mean, it's never an easy game when it's Manchester United. It could be like 2-1 or 2. It could be anything, to be honest. We don't know what teams are turn up. But I want to see us approach the game in the same manner which we did the other day. Pin and bag and obviously dominate the game. It's as simple as that. We're at home. We need to be sustaining attacks. And that's why I keep getting onto Bruno's net, because he doesn't recycle the ball when he needs to. And that's my biggest criticism of him. He constantly forces attack. That's probably the best way to explain it. He's constantly forcing it. Like, just chill out and show a bit of composure on the ball. And that's my big goal.
Do you think that's like the whole team approach was different against Palace? Do you think it changes the whole thing?
Look, for me, I think it's both of them. I think it is Bruno Rashford for different reasons. I think it's not a coincidence that without both of them in the team, we looked completely better as a team, not individuals. And I tweeted that as well. We looked like a team of, we didn't look like a team of individuals. We looked like a team united. Now, we haven't seen that. Like, everyone was fighting for each other off the ball. The team was trying to actually work together. Maybe Amrabat was definitely a big contributor to that. We haven't really mentioned him much. Obviously, got 96 pass completion, which is more than Scott McTominay's got in his entire career. I think he made more passes in that one half than Scott's done all season, which is obviously tells the tale, really, realistically speaking. But yeah, for me personally, we just got to look after the ball, man. Like you saw Arsenal the other day as well. I can't remember who they were playing against, but they're winning the ball back so quickly every time they lose it. Not the Spurs game, I think it might have been one of the cup games or something. But they're constantly winning the ball back. Every time they lose the ball, they're winning it back, and we just don't do that enough. We've got players in the team to press, but for me, we don't see it enough, and it's quite frustrating, to be honest. Because you see all the other teams improving, or we need to do the same. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the situation. Let's just quickly go through the 11. I haven't got my laptop, sadly, so I can't get the graphic up. But let's just agree to one of it, because obviously normally we'd do it on the laptop, but I haven't got that. Obviously, I'm assuming everyone's happy with the Nana in there, or we're not changing that. Okay, back line, back four. We start with the right back. Well, it's gonna have to be Delo, isn't it? There's not really anyone else. Anyone?
No, I put Lindelof there.
You put Lindelof there. Okay, fair enough. I can see where that's going. I am gonna stick with Delo, so we'll do a vote. Cole, did you get a deciding vote, or you got Lindelof or Delo? Delo. There we go. The two centre backs. Obviously, Varane being one of them. I would assume everyone agrees with that. Varane being one. The other one, I'm gonna say Evans.
I keep forgetting about him.
I'm gonna say
Evans. My guy.
Oh my god, this is so embarrassing. Jerry, who are you going for?
I forgot about Evans. You know what? Yeah, Evans, man, he deserves it after last week. The assist. So yeah,
there you go. Evans is in. Koja obviously was going to go for Maguire, but that's unfortunate. Koja left back. Who are you going for?
Amrabat.
Yeah, no brainer for me. Amrabat's in, and then midfield three. This is where the conversation is going to happen. Jerry, will come to you. Who's your midfield three?
Oh, so my left back will be Dallo, obviously. Then.
Yeah, of course, but yeah, either way.
Casemiro, Mount Bruno.
Ooh, okay. Well, it's gonna. Cod, you get decided for again. So I'm gonna obviously go Casemiro, Hannibal, and Bruno. So who are you going for?
Hannibal, midfield.
Oh, he's Hannibal's the team. Okay, right. Obviously, I'll make a graphic and obviously I'll tweet this as well with the boys. Tag the boys on the Twitter. So we've got Hannibal, Casemiro, Bruno. So we're going for my midfield. And obviously, Jerry, you've already alluded to it, but I believe yours was Rashford, Highland, and Pelestri, was it up top?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
correct. Well, obviously, I'm not going to get any votes on this, so there's not really much point for me. But mine would have been Martial, Highland, obviously Pelestri. But Cordia, just to confirm, who is your front three?
Rashford, Hoyland, Mount.
Mount! Oh! So we've all gone for a different one. I mean, at least we've got options. Okay, we'll leave that one for the poll and threat, then obviously I'll put that on the poll. Right, okay. Last but not least, score predictions. Jerry, starting with you, my guy. What are you going for?
Oh no, 3-1, man. I don't think we'll keep it a clean sheet. Like, I know he done a few saves the other game, but I'm not convinced as yet. I know Burnley should have scored, to be honest, but I'm going 3-1 United, man.
Gee, why you sound so upset, man? I'm taking 3-1 every day of the week.
I want a clean sheet. We need to build the clean. We need to get him more confident.
Man's got United defenders on FPL. That's why he's down.
I got Onana in net, bro. But I think.
There you go. Man said we need to build a clean sheet.
Yeah.
Oh god. Okay, fair enough. Koja, what you saying? What's your score prediction?
2-0.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just laughing at the fact that Watson's changes.
I know I'm back.
So he literally started with 3-0. Then he went, "Oh no, how Barnes and keep back." Within 10 seconds, he's like, "No, let me add it to the." Sorry, Coach, you said 2-0, didn't you?
Yeah, 2-0. Yeah.
Okay, fair. No, I'll take a 2-0. I'm not as confident for this one, actually. I was very confident with the cup. I was adamant that we were winning that game 4-0. But this one, because it's the league, I'm going to probably say 2-1 Manchester United. Hopefully we get the 3 points. Obviously, just get a bit of momentum going up to 3 wins in a row. But obviously, that would be the most important thing. But listen, that has been the show. Hope you guys have enjoyed it. Obviously, it's been absolutely unreal to have the lads back on. Obviously, it's been so long. But obviously, with work, everything's a bit difficult. I try my best to get the shows on for you. But I do appreciate everyone that still tunes in. Obviously, do slap a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. You laugh, but I was right with 3-0. Yeah, you was, to be fair to you. I mean, I said 4. Actually, you was right. He said 3. But listen, as always, Jerry, where can the people find you, my brother?
Yes, Twitter handle on the screen. United Team Talk on the YouTube. And yeah, hopefully you'll see me tomorrow with a big grin on my face during the match reaction. Great to be back on the channel. Make sure you like, subscribe, people. Let's go.
Definitely. Obviously, Jerry always does the match reaction, as he's just mentioned as well. So make sure you go over there. And of course, subscribe to the channel. Win, draw, lose, Jerry is there. So unlike our players, he actually does turn up every single game. Kojo, where can the people find you, my brother?
Yeah, here as well. Free midfield and Kojo free midfield as well. Yeah, that's about it. But make sure you like, subscribe to Uncle. He's now Uncle TNT, Uncle BBT. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's calling him now. So yeah, keep doing your thing with me, man. Like, comment, subscribe to this channel more than anything.
Appreciate. But listen, obviously, Jerry, I'm on the lineup at you. Jerry's a popular guy. Man's getting requests and that. You know what I'm saying? Thank you as always, United. We're great. Great show. Slap a like on the video. Obviously, subscribe to the channel. Obviously, my socials on screen. Osman Talks United. I don't think I'll do a video tomorrow. Possibly. Oh wait, I'm working Sunday. Right, I don't know. Sometime next week. I'm working late this week. But hopefully we'll be back after the Champions League game. But that aside, hopefully you enjoy the show. It's been your boy, Osman.